Farmsteaders.
Hola.
We are Mac.
And Jose.
And welcome back to Upper Country Farms. Welcome. We are a market farm up here in the beautiful Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And if you are a small farmer, we are all about you. So we would love for you to subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up. Today, Jose, what are we talking about?
Farmer market.
Farmers markets. Because we have been getting the question, which market did we sell better at last year?
Yep.
Because we had two very differing experiences, two very different farmers markets.
Yep.
And we want you to guess which one you think we did better at.
Mm-hmm.
So first, we are going to talk a little bit about the farmers markets we went to. I'm going to share with you the 7 things that will help determine how much money you're going to make at your farmers markets. And then we will tell you which farmers market we did better at.
Okay.
All right. So we went to 2 farmers markets this past summer, Jose, and they were very different markets. Yeah. The first farmers market, Jose, was on Saturday mornings. It lasted for 4 hours. And it's a fairly large, well-run market with a lot of foot traffic. A beautiful market. Lots of established farms.
Yeah, a lot.
Yes. And we're the new guy.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're the small farm, the new farm. Yeah.
Nobody look at
No. But that market runs 6 weeks longer than the other market we went to. So it has a lot of great things going for it.
Yeah.
The second market, quite a bit smaller, in a small tourist town. It runs for 3 hours on Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much foot traffic. One of the big problems with this market was that it switched nights this last year. So it used to be on Tuesday nights when there was a big concert going on in the same area. So it got a lot of foot traffic.
Yep.
The city decided they wanted it on another night, so they moved it to Monday nights.
Mm.
And it turns out that no other farmers were willing to take a chance on that market. So we were the only market.
Yeah.
We were the only farm at that market, which was a huge benefit, I think.
Yeah, pretty lucky.
Yeah. There were some other people selling vegetables, but they weren't big, weren't producing like we were. So we had kind of the corner on the vegetable market at that market. But it was a lot of tourists. It's a small tourist town. So that's the difference, like 2 very different markets. They ran for different amounts of time. This one ran for 6 weeks shorter, so it starts the last week of May and goes all the way till the end of September. The other one starts middle of May and goes all the way to the end of October. All right, so put in the comments right now which market you think we did better at. Yep, the first market, the larger one, or the smaller one.
Uh-huh.
All right, Jose, now let's talk about what are the things you need that will help you determine how much money you're going to make at the farmer's market.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing is like the basics of economics. Okay. Supply versus demand.
Okay.
You need to know how many suppliers will be at your farmer's market versus how many people are there to buy vegetables or meat or whatever it is that you're selling, flowers. Because if there are 5 farms doing the exact same thing that you're doing and there are 3 customers, well, you're never gonna make a living selling at that farmer's market, ever. But if there are 3 farms and 500 customers, you have a much better chance of making a living attending that farmer's market. So you need to look at and know the particular farmer's market you're going to, how much foot traffic it has, how many people are there to purchase what it is that you're selling, and how many other people are doing it. Very basic economics.
Yeah.
The second thing that I think is very important is how is your market ran?
Uh-huh.
What are the guidelines for selling at that particular market? So I know for the one in Marquette, the thing we really like about that market is it is very focused on local.
Uh-huh.
If you are selling at that market, it has to be something you produced on your farm.
Yep.
Which I think really helps out and promotes local growers in your area. And we are not competing with bulk buyers. So you will never see bananas or avocados or lemons and limes at our farmers market, because it is only what grows locally in this area. And it's other farmers similar to us selling the same types of products that we are, which gives us all a more even footing, I think.
More equal?
Yeah, definitely, than we would have if we were competing against bulk buyers. So that's one of the things. The market, or the first market we were talking about, is very well run. I'm very impressed with how it's run. The other market is so small, it doesn't even really matter. So the third thing is going to be the loyalty of the customers that are currently coming to the market to the farms that are already there. Because those other farms, if you're the new guy, they have put in the time and the energy to build their customer base.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating to be at the farmer's market first thing in the morning, because they say pile it high, watch it fly. That's a load of BS. I'm just going to tell you right now, it absolutely works. Unless you're the new farm, because people would walk right by us and line up at the farm that they're used to going to.
Yeah.
It was painful to see that. But I'll tell you what, as soon as those farms ran out of the produce people were looking for, our stuff sold like crazy.
That's good.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're definitely not the established farm, but we still were able to sell and make money at that first farmer's market.
Yeah.
The other farmer's market, it didn't matter. People were buying. Even if it was the last thing on the table, people were buying. Yes, because we were the only one there and people wanted what they wanted.
Yeah.
Very different experiences. The fourth thing you want to consider is you. So how much you're going to be able to sell will really depend on you. How you set up your table, whether or not it's welcoming to people, you really have to look at. I often will walk around the front of my table during the market because I want to see what the customers are seeing when they walk by. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I forgot to put that sign up, or because people want to see your pricing. If they have to ask you, they may just walk by. But if they can see the price right there and they're interested, they're going to buy.
Yeah.
Also, your personality. Jose, why don't you tell the viewers about Olivia from Pileated Farms?
Nothing. She can see this video.
Olivia is the nicest person on the planet. Her and her partner started their farm the same time we did.
Yeah.
And they were coming to some of the farmers market. And she is as sweet as apple pie. It's maddening. She can attract a customer and upsell to a customer like you wouldn't believe. And I do have a little bit of Olivia envy, because she would say to a customer, you can round that up to $10 and get just a couple of cucumbers. So she would get money out of people without even really trying.
Yeah.
For me, one of my I would say weaker points is that I do not upsell. I'm very practical. I think if somebody wants to buy something, they're going to buy it. And so I would say that's probably not a good way to be. I probably could have sold more if I was more willing to engage the customers. But I'll tell you what, you do not want to sit behind your table. We say hi to every single person that walks by the table. Even if they're not responding to us, we smile and welcome them, because if somebody's not sure whether or not they can approach our table, we want to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And here's another interesting thing, is if you attract customers and you have a bunch of people standing around your table, that will attract more customers. People are like moths to a flame. If there's a few people checking it out, everybody else wants to see what's going on at your table. So I encourage you to really get people coming to your table, asking questions, talking to you, because it will attract additional people coming to your table.
Yep.
The fifth thing is to be practical about how much you can actually bring to the market.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, well, I think I should be selling $1,000 worth of the vegetables at the market. And I said, are you even bringing $1,000 worth of vegetables to the market? And that made them pause and think, because you can only sell what you can bring.
Yeah.
Jose and I would say during the height of the season, we're harvesting maybe up to $1,500 a week. Now we had to separate that between the two markets, and I think we tried to keep it pretty equal.
Yeah.
So we weren't bringing a whole lot to one market and not very much to the other market.
Yeah.
So the most we could possibly make in a week was $1,500 with what we were bringing to the market. So not a whole lot of money, but we want to be able to sell as much of that as possible.
Yeah.
So you need to know how much you're going to be able to harvest and how much you can bring to the market, because that will very much determine how much you're going to sell. I'll tell you, at the second farmer's market, a lot of times we left with maybe only 6 things on our table.
Yeah.
I literally would go home with tons of empty totes. That never happened at the bigger farmer's market, except on the really busy days. We would be down to just a few things. And I'm going to tell you what, when you're carrying heavy vegetables, you want to go home with as few as possible.
Yeah.
Especially totes of cucumbers. I hate carrying them.
Super heavy.
They are. They're very heavy. The 6th thing is to be aware of what you're bringing and how you're packaging those items. Mm-hmm. Because if your customers want bagged salad mix and you're bringing lettuce heads, it's going to be hard to sell those lettuce heads. But if everybody wants lettuce heads and that's what you're bringing, they're going to be an easy sell. So you need to get to know the customer base in your area. It's funny how every area has its own trends and its own ideas of where value is.
Yeah.
So you want to think about what it is that will actually sell at your market. And the first year will be hard. It'll be a little bit trial and error. Even if you go to the market, you talk to other farmers, you're still going to have to figure out what works for you.
Yep.
And the other thing is, how are you packaging those items? Because what I find is so many people make it hard for people to buy from them. But what we found is, for example, on our bell peppers, I would sell the peppers for $2 a piece or $5 for a bag with a pound in it. Those bags would fly off the shelf one after the other because people perceived more value in the bag, or maybe it was because it was easier to grab and hand me $5. To hand me $5. I think it's very important to pay attention to where people are willing to spend the money and make it easy for them to give you that money. That will really help you out at the farmer's market. Another thing was lemon cucumbers.
Oh, yeah.
We were selling them individually, but if we put them in a bag, several together, people would grab those bags up and they would sell really well, where they don't sell as well individually.
Yeah.
So make it easy for your customers to spend money with you. I hear a lot of farmers that do preset bags or boxes on their table for $20 or $30 so that people can say, oh, $20.
I think.
Yeah, I'll take that. So anyway, think about how you can separate your customer's money from your customer.
Yeah.
That will be very helpful to you in the future. The last thing you need to be thinking about is price.
Uh-oh.
I purposely put price last because I think it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. I
think a lot of people get caught up in, how much should I sell this for? What are other people selling it for? I'm overpriced, I'm underpriced. Really, it doesn't matter. If you have loyal customers, they will spend whatever you're charging.
Yeah.
If you are catering to the cheap customer that comes to the market, the minute they find somebody cheaper than you or find a better deal, you're not even going to matter. So it's about building your customer base more than it is about your pricing. Now, with that said, if you're leaving the market with everything you brought, you may want to check your pricing, or you may need to make some adjustments.
Yeah.
But for example, last year I feel like we were pretty competitive with the other markets. I was above in some areas, below in others. Do not let your customers dictate to you what you're charging either. Because I think one customer walks by and says, oh, $5 a pound for tomatoes. Then you get all bent out of shape. That's one person at the market. We all have our own value system. Let them walk away from your table, even if they think your tomatoes are too expensive. Who cares? At our markets last year, we had people complain, and we sold out every week.
Yeah.
We sold our cucumbers in the beginning for $2 a piece. Some people would say, I'm not paying $2 for your cucumber. And other people would say, I'll take $6. But if you undervalue your product, you're going to be selling to people who undervalue your product. Yeah. So just get comfortable with your price and go with it. You're always welcome to change that. We were selling rutabagas, which a lot of people probably don't even know what a rutabaga is. We were selling them for $2 a piece, but we almost never sold any, mostly because people weren't at the market shopping for rutabagas. Yeah. But somebody walked by one day and said, hey, will you sell me 8 of those for $8? And I said, absolutely I will. Take all 8 of them. Because I knew I wasn't going to sell them. Yeah. I would rather make $8 than go home with 8 rutabagas. It's not worth fighting over the price. So, you have to be a little bit flexible, but also don't undervalue yourself.
No.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Jose. So we have done this. I've talked about the things that I think will help you decide how much money you're going to make at a farmer's market. Which farmer's market do you think we sold the most at?
Dun, 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 dun.
Munising, the smaller farmer's market. Yeah. Number 2. Well, I hate to break it to you, but the answer actually depends. Because if you compared week to week numbers, we sold more at the smaller farmer's market. Because we were the only farm, the only option. People were buying everything we had. Yeah. If I was out of one thing, they were buying something else. It really worked to our advantage. But we weren't selling a whole lot more, just a little bit more. If you look at the whole season overall, we sold more at the bigger farmer's market because they ran 6 weeks longer. We had more time at every farmer's market, and the number of customers coming through was a lot more. So, you really have to get in there and give some different farmers markets a try. See what works for you. Yeah. Maybe you fit better into one community than you do in another community. Yeah. I know for sure we're going to do both farmers markets again because they both offered great value. Yeah. And we made quite a bit of money. I'm very happy with it. You can check out our video right up here on somewhere. I can never remember which corner. Neither can he. Check out the video of how much we made this last year, and that can help you see what you think you might make if you're a brand new farmer or this is your first year attending farmers markets.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Yeah, just remember the first year is you have to build in your community, your customer. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little difficult the first years, I might guess.
Yeah, it is difficult. It's difficult to get people to trust you, but I guarantee by the second year and the third year, you will begin to build your customer base, and people who love you will love you. Yeah. Because people have different personalities, so some people will mesh with you. I definitely mesh with people who want to be in and out better than I mesh with somebody who wants to stand and chit-chat at my table. Yeah. Not necessarily a good thing, but I'm going to attract the customers that like my type of personality or like Jose's type of personality or my mom who helps out at the farmer's market. All right, so if you are a first-year farmer or a second-year farmer, we hope you'll subscribe to our channel. Hopefully we're providing good, valuable information to you. Again, we are Mac.
Hey, Jose.
And we are Upper Country Farms.
Thank you.